I go by the name of DJ Lethal Skillz. I was born in Lebanon during the Civil War, and I chose music as my alternative to the sounds of war. The music grew up with me as I was growing up, so I was blessed to live the era of the music technologies as I was growing. I started with tapes, and then I moved to reel, and then from there I moved to turntables, then Discmans, then CDs, and now moving to the digital world of controllers and whatnot. Turntablism is the art of using those DJ equipment to recreate music. There's the DJ and there's the turntablist, and then there's people who do both. The turntablist literally takes pieces out of music and recreate it. The turntable then can become like a guitar or drums or a sampler or anything. So mainly you just start taking bits and pieces out of time and sound and remanipulate it and create whatever you're feeling, depending on the context, your mood, or what's happening. It's using your hands and these beautiful records to make music. What inspired me to get into turntablism is around the mid-80s. I was watching MTV in the Middle East. It started broadcasting on TVs. And I saw this video for Herbie Hancock called Rocket. This video actually inspired so many DJs across the world, not just me, I'm one of them. And there's that, mainly I used to watch this video because it has b-boy breaking, people doing breakdance, and I used to be a breaker before. So I was watching it for the first time, the video, because I know the song but I've never seen the video. And then towards the end of the video there's a DJ who comes up wearing all white leather with a wireless headphone. It has an antenna like this long, and he's in front of these two turntables and he's going fresh. He's just moving his hands and doing these sounds. He's playing with this, and that moment just like dazzled me, and I was like, it was like a magical moment for me. I was like, I want to do this when I grow up. This is what I want to do. I don't want to. So I started deviating my focus from breakdancing. But again, breakdancing is music, and getting into DJing is also music. So it's just a complementation to what I was doing. So because I had the rhythm and I know the move, I know how to count bars. So getting into DJing was easy. And this is how I got into DJing and turntablism. The evolution of turntablism in the Middle East specifically, we used to have a very rich and busy turntable scene in the Middle East. We had official DMC in Lebanon, in Egypt, and a lot of other countries across the GCC. They used to do a lot of battles. Access to equipment, turntables back then, and records was much more accessible than now, the current state. But that's not a wrong thing, because now we have technology. So we had a huge peak of turntablism art form in the region, battles and all these like great DJs coming to Middle East. To mention a few, DJ Rock Raider, rest in peace, Qbert, and a bunch of the people who innovated the scratch and evolved it and made it much where it is now. And being a young DJ growing up and being blessed to be around these people whenever they visit and whatnot, definitely has inspired me and pushed me to be where I am today. So we had a great peak in turntablism. Then when technology started changing with the music format, the CD came into the market where you can get 20 tracks on one CD for the same price, where you can get one record that has 1-2 tracks. If you're lucky, you can get an a cappella, instrumental, and the track. So the record sales started going down, so the industry that supports the record sales started shutting down or moving more into CDs. Access to records started becoming difficult. Access to finding turntables started becoming hard. So all these kind of factors impacted the scene and started going back to the bedroom and to the underground. It's not anymore out there. So it took a pause and then it disappeared for a while. Only a few people. I've been blessed to be one of the few people across the region who was always trying to bring it back and revive it. But now with the coming of technologies and whatnot, we have other things that happened. There was an attempt to bring back the MC in mid-2000, 2005, which was a great initiative, and I was blessed to be a judge alongside with Qbert and whatnot. And thanks to Desert Beat who organized that back then. And it was a good attempt, but again, given the technologies were still advancing, moving to controllers and more digital and MP3, and access to music online is free. It was still like a battle and a struggle. It was still underground. There's things going on, but it's very small. And until we come to the States for the past like 2-3 years, Now we have other big things happening around the world, like Red Bull Freestyle, the MC online. It's not anymore in country, so it doesn't have to come to your country to you go compete. You can do a video at home, upload it on the internet, judges see it. If you like it, you can travel and compete with the DJs. Same thing with Red Bull Freestyle. Red Bull Freestyle brings the scratch DJ and the live performer / producer all together in one to also represent creatively. So with all these things happening in the industry, it's bringing back the turntablism scene. It's bringing up more youth to jump into being a DJs. And as you know, DJing has different doors and careers within DJ. You can be a barbecue DJ, you can be a club DJ, you can be a battle DJ, you can be an overall well-rounded DJ, you can be a DJ / producer, you can be a live performer, and the list can go on and on. 'Turntablists back then used to use 2 turntables and 1 mixer, and then it moved to 2 CDJs and mixer, giving that the pioneers started having the jog wheel, so you can scratch, because before in the beginning CDs you couldn't scratch with it. And now you have that mentioned plus a laptop or controllers or DVS mode or these kind of technologies that today's we have. Limiting me with 3 artists is a very tough question, but I'm going to reply to you. I've been blessed to meet up more than half of the artists that inspired me to become who I am today, growing up and listening to them. To mention a few, I've been blessed just like a month and a half ago to open up for Grandmaster Flash. So if you're familiar with Grandmaster Flash from the old generation, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, or moving to the new generation, they know of Grandmaster Flash through the Get Down of the Netflix, who brought all this thing back. And definitely the media, the TV industry and whatnot has a big role in re-pushing the turntablism through these programs that they're doing and showing the old school, the first school, moving to the old school and the current state of turntablism and DJ and hip hop in general. Also, I've been blessed to meet up and play with Qbert, meet Rock Raider, rest in peace. And even from a producer side, I've been blessed to play and work with De La Soul, The Far Side, Mims, I met Snoop, 50 Cent, and the list can go on from the real underground artists to the real Timbaland and top 10 artists. I've been blessed to, and I still have a big list. I'm still picking. I hope I'll be blessed enough to pick all of them before I move to another dimension. With the coming of all these digital stuff like the DVS, the controllers and whatnot, definitely it has played a major role in bringing back the turntablism culture and provide the DJs with tools that makes it easier to access and easier to elevate the musical platform. Because now with all these technologies in hand like DVS and whatnot, you can do a lot more. So instead of wasting time looking for the record or trying to do it, now you have all these shortcuts and all these things that makes you do what we used to do quicker, and also you can do a lot more. You have the functionalities of adding to what you can do. So personally, I see the advancement of technology is a great thing that happened within the DJ world and turntablism world, as long as it's being used in order to elevate your what you do. Few people around the world use this technology. It's like shortcut. Like they don't want to, for example, learn beat matching, so they just put sync and But I mean, this wouldn't push you too far within your DJ career if you really want to, because now the trend in DJs are live performer. So it's not just about mixing, it's not just about scratching, it's not just about making music. The beauty of the PS technologies and whatnot, it brings all these 3 together in one. So you can have that, which is what I have today here, and you can do all these 3 things that I mentioned. And plus the cost of this gear nowadays, you can have so many options. Back in our time, it was so hard. We had to save a lot of money. And to buy the record, to buy the mixer, to buy the turntable, speakers, needles, like there's so many tools. So now with the digital stuff, you don't need that. All you need is a laptop and a controller, and you can come do everything what we used to do back then. And on top of that, a zillion things more. It's up to your creativity and imagination. Okay, my current gear of choice right now is I'm in love with these babies, which is the Pioneer Telex 1000 and the DJM S9. This is nowadays what I'm on. And the reason why I love these equipments because first of all, the price for what you're getting. You are getting a lot more for what you're paying for. And they're durable and they are very efficient for mixing. For me, I use the 1000 because I'm in turntables. I do a lot of scratching. So I care about a direct drive, a quick torque. So as soon as I release the track, it goes. But for also the beautiful thing about Pioneer products, they have the PLX 500s and they have other brands of the mixer. They have the DJM 450 and they have the DJM 250 MK2, which also come with the Magwell fader, which is the same fader that's put on the S9, which is very light. And I was very surprised when I tried them yesterday because that's the first time I tried them. And I'm very happy from it. And this is definitely my advice that I would want to give to any of my students or any of the people I'm sharing knowledge with, if they're on a budget and they want to get. And the beautiful thing on top of that, you will also get the license of the Rekordbox DVS and the Rekordbox license. And the beautiful thing about it is like you can get 2 PLX 500s if you're on a budget and you want to start DJing with the DJM 250 MK2, and it's very affordable. And literally, actually yesterday even, I was scratching on the 500 with the community of scratch DJs in Dubai that came through for the workshop at DJ Corner. And honestly, I was very surprised. They were scratching on the 500. So even you can scratch on the 500, but I mean, you cannot scratch as, if you want to go advanced scratching, you definitely need the 1000s. But even with that, it's a very good entry for mixing, perfect. And for entry scratching, you can even use the 500. And as I mentioned, they come with the license of the Rekordbox and the DBS, so you can plug into any Pioneer stuff, your laptop and a controller or whatnot, and you're ready to go and just represent and be creative as a DJ and do your thing. So my advice to the new generation, the young generation out there, or even the older generation who love turntablism and thinking about getting into it or want to get to it, all I can say is like turntablism is like any other activity in life. It's like basketball, driving a car. It requires dedication, it requires training, it requires discipline. It's nothing that you can pick up in one day. You cannot learn guitar in one day. You need to first learn the strings, learn the scales, learn how you can move 2 different hands at the same time, and then with persistence and training every day, you can, do everything what a turntables does. But the beautiful thing, again, as I mentioned earlier, with all these technologies in hand, nowadays it's much easier for people that want to get into turntablism than our generation when it started, early 90s and whatnot. And definitely it requires, as I said, just the continuous training and knowledge of what's happening with the technology, because technology is making things so much easier and at the same time cooler and much more creative as a DJ. Because now the DJ in a way is moving more towards a live musician. Because as a DJ now, you don't just go there and play the music. You're playing the music, you're remanipulating the music, you're remixing the music, you're making your own music. I mean, there's so much that can be done. So turntablism, the state of it now, the way I personally see it, it's much better than the state of how it was before. Definitely every era of turntablism as it was moving had its own time and whatnot, but I personally believe this is a great times that we're living for DJs and people who want to get into turntablism, and keep an eye and go to the places that provide these technologies and check with them and consult them if you need any help. Or you can reach out to me at any time through my social media, and it will be my pleasure to answer your questions also.